All right, what is up, Seth Moser fishing followers? My name is Seth Moser, and this is my YouTube channel. If you haven't already, drop a sub, drop a like, drop a comment. Let me know some videos I should do next. But obviously, the reason that all of you guys are here and the goal of any high school fisherman should be is because you want to be and you want to learn how to become a Bassmaster High School All-American. Now, you're going to say, Seth, why do you have the qualifications to talk about this? Well, in the 2019 year, I was selected as one of the 12 only high schoolers in the country to become a Bassmaster High School All-American. I'm very proud of that honor. I worked very hard to get there. The Lord blessed me tremendously with being able to do that. But we're going to go ahead and get right into some topics about how to go about becoming a Bassmaster High School All-American. How do you apply? What all kinds of criteria do you have to check off on your proverbial list before you can do that? And the overall experience as a whole. So, before we even get into the application process at all, we're going to talk about what you need to be doing as a high school angler to make you a competitive candidate for the All-American before you even apply. 1, you gotta fish. That's the most obvious thing. If you're clicking on this video, I assume you fish, and if you don't, you need to start now. You're going to want to fish as many days of the week as you possibly can. Go after work, go after school. Always put your school first, but that fish, if you really want to do this, then you're going to have to prioritize the fishing aspect of your life. You're going to have to get on the water as many days as possible. 2, you're going to want to be connected with other coaches, other anglers, other administrators. If you can talk to Hank Weldon, go talk to Hank Weldon. If you don't know who Hank Weldon is he's the director for high school bass fishing. If you can talk to him and get a personal relationship, do that. It's very important to be connected in this industry, in high school, in college, in any part of your fishing life. 2 is being connected. 3, you want to do community service, guys. I know that may not be what you want to hear. You say, I just want to fish. I'm just going to win. That's all I need to do. It's not true. To become a Bassmaster All-American, they're looking for somebody that's different, somebody that exemplifies a strong student, strong angler, strong member of the community. They want to see that you're interested in helping others and helping other aspects outside of fishing. So you're going to want to do some community service as well. You're going to want to be involved in other clubs and just overall be a well-rounded person and a well-rounded application. So then, compete in as many high school events as possible. Write down what tournaments you fished in, how many different trails you fished in, what you fished in, or how you finished in each event, what you caught those fish on. Stuff like that. Being a student of the game is something that you can always do in every aspect of your life, but fishing is definitely one of those. Be a student of the game. Write down everything you can and learn from as many different people as you can. So, once you have all that, once you've done your community service, once you're fishing for your fishing team, you've taken on some leadership and extracurricular roles, you're ready for the application. Okay, so the first and most simple question about how to become an All-American is, when can you apply, how do you apply, and when will you know if you've got it? Okay, so early in the year and late in the winter of the year previous, Bassmaster sends out that they will be accepting applications for the upcoming year for the All-American and All-State candidates. So how the Bassmaster High School All-American works is everyone submits an application. Anyone can submit an application as far as I know. If you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior in high school, I think anyone can submit an application. Obviously, you want to have a very strong application before you submit, but I wouldn't discourage anybody from applying for it. But once Bassmaster puts that application out there, you're going to go in there, you're going to fill out all your information. The first and most obvious stuff it's going to ask you is name, address, where you're from, what high school you fish for. Then the next questions are going to be your ones that you're going to think of first. It's going to be how many wins have you had, how many tournaments have you competed in, how many years have you been fishing, what trails do you compete in. But the next part I'm going to say, and it's going to shock a lot of people, that how many tournament wins and how many high tournament finishes you've had is very important for your high school application, your high school Bassmaster All-American application. But the most important, I'm going to say it again, the most important part of becoming a high school Bassmaster All-American is your community service, your extracurricular involvement, and your conservation work. Bassmaster loves to see that not only are you out there on the lake fishing every day and catching fish and winning tournaments and competing in their events, they want to see that you're an active member of the community, you're volunteering to clean up lakeshore, you're vice president of your high school fishing team, you're the president of your high school fishing team, you're the president of other clubs, you play varsity sports. Bassmaster wants to see that not only can you fish, but that you can exemplify what Bassmaster is. You can be an exceptional student and an exceptional angler. They really want to see that in an application, and that's really what can set your application apart from everybody else. All right, so the next part of the application, after you filled out your tournament finishes, your home address, your who you are, your community service, your extracurricular involvement, the next part, and again, the second most key part or third most key part behind your community service and extracurricular involvement is your essay that your recommender writes for you. I recommend you fill up as much information as you can. Don't just write a paragraph. Don't have your recommender write a paragraph, because Bassmaster, this is what can really set off your application. It can really set you apart from anybody else. You want to pick a recommender that knows you, that likes you, and can talk about you in language that is interesting, that is fun, that really shows off who you are as a high school fisherman. And this may be your coach, this may be your principal, this may be whoever that can really talk about you in a strong way, knows how to use a computer, knows how to use good English, and can really set you apart from those other people. I don't think it's wrong for you to be able to sit there and help them if it's somebody that doesn't know a ton about fishing but knows a lot about you. I don't think it's bad for you to sit down with them and work through that application together and say, okay, here, if you want to talk about this, I think this would kind of help out my application, or pull something from here and say, this is what would really help out my application. But you really want a strong recommender that can talk about your personal life and your fishing life and can really set you apart from everybody else. If you have one thing that's really cool that you did, talk about it. Go into detail. Talk about why you're passionate about that thing. Show Bassmaster that you do something that no one else does. You can be one of those 12 people in the country that's different, that's above all the others for that year. Once you submit your application in January, February, I believe, Bassmaster is going to take all those applications. I think last year they said they received 400 applications from people all across the United States, high school fishermen from everywhere. I am actually from East Tennessee, if you did not know that already, but they take applications from everywhere. Once you've submitted that, then it's a waiting game. You're going to wait from that January, February time where you turn that application in. I think it's January, February. I may not be exactly right on that. Then you're going to wait till April the 14th through April the 25th. That's normally when they make the announcement of you're a high school Bassmaster All-American. I know that because I was checking my email constantly. That's when your final announcement about becoming an All-American is. But before that, you have a kind of a secondary draft round that's going to come in between your All-American announcement and when you submit your application, and that middle ground is your All-State Anglers. So Bassmaster will take those 400 applications, cut them down to 62 All-State Anglers. So it's an average of 2 anglers from each state that submitted an application. And so those guys, the 2 All-State Anglers, are honored as All-State. They get their name on Bassmaster's website, and it tells where you're from. No personal article, really. But from those 62 Bassmaster All-State Anglers, they dwindle it down to 12 Bassmaster All-Americans. Then, when you get the email that you become a Bassmaster High School All-American for that year, obviously you're going to be overjoyed, excited. I actually personally jumped up out of class, ran out of my classroom, ran to my principal's office, told her, told my fishing coach, called my mom and dad. I was so excited because I've been dreaming about that moment for all my life, all my high school fishing career and middle school fishing career as well. Once you get that email, Bassmaster sends you a list of instructions about where you got to be, when you got to be there. They're going to pay for you to travel there. And so what happens is every year Bassmaster sends the Bassmaster All-Americans to fish with Elite Series anglers at Bassmaster Texas Fest. At least that's the way it's been in years past. So what happens is you either fly or drive down there. They put you up in a hotel room. You're with the other 12 All-Americans. I highly recommend, if you're the class of next year, the 2020 High School All-Americans, get a group chat together. Talk to those guys before you get down there so you guys can already be building relationships. Bassmaster actually really hooked us up. I don't know if they meant to do it, but there was a pond directly behind our hotel. We all got together and went and fished that pond. It was a huge community builder for our class of 2019 Bassmaster High School All-Americans. I enjoyed it. I met people from Pennsylvania, Georgia, Louisiana, Alabama, everywhere, Florida. It didn't matter. These guys were from all over the country, but we all love to fish, and we are all competing at a very high level at the high school fishing trails and fishing series. So we got down there. We got to go and watch some of the Elite Series weigh-ins and blast-offs. And then I believe on the third or fourth day of the event, they take a break from fishing. The Elite Series guys take a break from fishing to have a ceremony for the high school All-Americans. We meet, you get to eat. Hank Weldon reads off some awesome info about you from your application.
Seth Moser is a senior at Sequoia High School, where he has earned tournament wins in the past year, including a Southeast Tennessee Bass Nation High School event on Lake Chickamauga. Seth also excels in leadership and scholastic achievements and has been named the recipient of multiple Math and Scholar Awards. Debbie Tipton, the principal at Sequoia High School, said that Seth is in the top 1% of his senior class and has maintained that ranking over the past 4 years. In addition to his academic success, he also managed to raise over $16,000 for the Sequoia High School bass fishing team. Seth, congratulations.
You get a trophy, you get a nice jersey just like this. See, it has the Bassmaster High School All-American. It has your name on the back. My last name is Moser, so that's why it says Moser on there. And you get a bag from, actually got an awesome bag from Academy Sports. Had a reel, had some tackle, had some awesome stuff in there. Huge shout out to Academy for believing in us, our high school anglers, and sponsoring us in this event. So then, the end of the night, the moment you've all been waiting for, everybody's name goes into a hat, and the 12 Bassmaster Elite Series anglers that have showed up at the event, their names go in the hat, and your name goes in the hat as well. And one at a time, Hank Weldon hand-picks your name and an Elite Series angler's name out of that hat, and you get paired up to fish with a Bassmaster Elite Series Pro. It's pretty wild to think about, because everybody always dreams about fishing or competing with the elites, and this was kind of a taste of that. I was prepared with Bassmaster Elite Series Pro and seasoned veteran Bassmaster Classic winner Jay Yellis. I was so excited, and it was such a cool moment because he was actually sponsored by one of the sponsors that I was sponsored by, MGC Custom Tackle. You've probably seen me use their swim jigs and their football jigs in some of my videos, or if you haven't followed my Instagram, you need to do that right now. It's Seth_Moser_fishing. But I was paired up with him. So we go and we talk with them and we say, okay, here's our plan for tomorrow. You don't get to fish on the same body of water as the elites. You actually go out on a smaller body of water nearby there, and if they have that available. And so then once you leave the event and you've talked to your pro, everyone drives over to Academy Sports, and Academy Sports gives you a gift card, and you get to go into Academy Sports and buy whatever you want.
The elites are here at Academy Sports, and we're here with the High School All-Americans, which is really cool. We're going to get the opportunity to spend the day with them tomorrow on the water. It's kind of a treat for them as well.
Now, what's really cool about that is your Elite Series Pro comes and shops with you. So they can say, okay, this is what we need to be using tomorrow to catch fish. This is one of my favorite baits of all time. You can really learn a lot just from shopping with those guys and communicating with them just for a little bit. Okay, so you're at Academy Sports, you're shopping around, picking out lures with your pro. You get done shopping, you go and check out. It's all completely free because Academy takes care of you and sets up some money. They close off Academy Outdoors just so the high school anglers and the Elite Series anglers can go in. They completely shut down the building just for us. They set up a flipping station. They let us walk around the store, ride bikes around the ride bikes around the whole store, play some games. It was really an awesome experience. Then you leave, go home, get some rest, make sure you have all your stuff tied up for in the morning. You drive to the boat ramp, and all the Bassmaster Elite Series guys that are fishing with the high school All-Americans are pulled up there. They have their trucks, their boats, their professional wrapped rigs, and they're waiting on the high school guys to show up, hop in the boat. Bassmaster actually provided us with some breakfast, some donuts, and coffee. It was an awesome time. We all got launched. Out here at the Bassmaster High School All-American fishing day we're going to have with all the Elite Series Pro. We got Steve Kennedy right over here. We got all these pros out here. I'm with Jay Yellis. Hopefully we're going to go out here and catch some. Have a good day. We both got the juice tied on. The MGC Sniper jig. One on his and one on mine. Hopefully we'll be able to go out there and catch them. Got in the water and we let the day of fishing begin. So one thing that before becoming All-American that I didn't know is that when you become an All-American, you get to fish with the Elite Series Pro for the day. And it's not really a tournament style when you fish with them. It's a big fish tournament. So they took the Elite Series Pro's biggest fish and then the high school angler's biggest fish, combined those weights, and we took a picture with them and released them back after we weighed them. Combined those weights together, and that's the guy that won the tournament. You didn't win anything extra, just kind of bragging rights above the other All-Americans, like you're the All-American of All-Americans. But so you go out and fish with them for the day. We fished on Lake Quitman, Jay Yellis and I did, and it was an awesome time. I learned so much that I wouldn't be able to learn from anybody other than Jay or one of those Elite Series guys. And it was so cool to see how they go about and attack different bodies of water and think differently than we do because they've been at it for so long. So let's see. Then after you get done fishing, you and your Elite Series Pro drive from that lake that you're on to the Bassmaster weigh-in stage. And you get to, they stage you back behind the big stage. All these people are out in the arena watching and waiting for you guys to come out on stage. All right, I'm here with the one and only Dylan Fogarty.
What's up?
The man just went and showed out today. Tell him what you did.
I caught a 7-pound, 4-ounce largemouth. That's my personal best. I was screaming. I was crying. It was awesome.
He caught a flipping big girl down here in Texas. But I mean, everything's bigger in Texas, isn't that right, Mr. Snow?
It is. Always bigger in Texas. That's why you come here.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm here with the one and only legend himself, Dave Mercer. And we're going to get him a Let's Get Ready to Weigh Him. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Let's get ready to weigh him! You get to walk up on stage, have an on-stage interview with Hank Weldon and your Elite Series Pro, get to thank your sponsors, and it's truly an awesome time.
All right, guys, so we had a fun time. We went out at 8 a.m. and a pretty cool lake, wasn't it, Jay?
It was a nice lake. You know, I've never fished Lake Quitman, and it has got a lot of fish in it. Everybody caught several bass today, all the boats did, and a couple big ones too. So, yeah, it's a pretty lake.
Seth, I mean, okay, so this is always my question. What did you learn from fishing with Jay today?
Oh, I learned about speed, how fast you need to be fishing, and definitely about how you need to be positioning the boat while you're trying to catch those shallow fish.
And he's telling the truth because when we were following him, I heard Jay, you know, we need to be covering water. It's a new lake. We got to figure out how to break it down quickly, and it was cool just to hear you coaching him up.
Well, I love to share, you know, tips on how to catch more fish. That's what we're all about. We're all here because we love fishing. So I'm all about helping other people learn how to catch more.
Well, let's look at some photos. All right, Jay, so you caught a pretty good one. 3 pounds, 11 ounces. That was yours. And then Seth, let's bounce over to yours. 2 pounds and 8 ounces for you guys. So that has a total of 6 pounds and 3 ounces with, hey, first team across, you're sitting in the lead. So that's always good.
Yeah, we'll take it. It was good. We had a very good, fun time. I was really proud of Seth. He caught more keepers than I did today. I just happened to catch the bigger one. But we had a great time on Lake Quitman.
What'd you catch those fish on today, Seth?
We caught them working a frog. At first in the morning, we thought it was going to be a spinnerbait bite. It just started real quick. We was like, oh, here we go. But later in the day, the frog bite kind of prevailed.
Real quick, what's this experience been like for you? Who do you want to thank for getting you here as to one of these 12 All-Americans?
First of all, I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because without him, I wouldn't be able to be here. That's right. Yeah. But then first and foremost, I want to thank my dad, because I definitely couldn't be here without him. He drove the 6.5 hours the rest of the way from Memphis, and my family, my coach, all our wonderful sponsors, Star Mountain Outfitters. If you like this hat right here, you can swing by and pick one of those up. MGC Jigs, there's actually a really cool story, quick. Jay Ellis is actually sponsored by some of the same people that I'm sponsored by that picked me up right before we came up here, and it was really cool to kind of how God lined that up. So, but I really want to thank Texas Fest and all the Texas Parks and Wildlife people. I was glad that I was able to find some water that was slightly cleaner than the mud you're standing in right now.
And you see why they're All-Americans. Awesome job, Seth. Jay, thank you guys very much. We'll see if you can hang on. All right, next All-American, our next Elite Series angler coming up, Todd Alton.
Once you leave there, the event's kind of over. You go back to your hotel room, say goodbyes to your All-American buddies that you've made, and you go back home. Some people may think that being an All-American ends there. It definitely doesn't. What I'm going to recommend that you do if you become an All-American is capitalize on your opportunity. Don't become an All-American and say, okay, I'm happy with that. What you need to do is you need to continue to use that as a tool for you and a tool for your sponsors. Say, okay, I'm an All-American. I have some pull now. I have some following. And use those opportunities to promote your brands. Go do some extra community service. Go do some conservation work. Use the platform that Bassmaster has given you to go other places. Use it to get a college scholarship, to go fish somewhere, make a living at it. Do whatever you think you can do with your application and with your honor of becoming All-American. I believe, just talking from experience alone, I have a personal fishing Instagram, as I mentioned earlier, and I believe my fishing Instagram, once becoming All-American, grew from probably 500 followers to I think I'm almost at 4,000 now. I'm still working on that and still trying to take advantage of that opportunity that Bassmaster gave me. But what you do after the All-American is just as important as what you do during and before the All-American. Guys, I want to say thank you so much for watching this video. I'm going to throw up some pictures from the event and maybe a few videos that I got while I was at the All-American, just a few little memories. I actually have a YouTube video on fishing at the pond that I mentioned earlier with some of the All-American buddies. You can check that out. I think it says Bassmaster High School All-American Fishing. It's another video down below. Definitely click the subscribe if you haven't already. Drop a like on this video. Drop some comments. I'm also going to be doing a video on how to get into high school fishing and how to become good at it. I don't claim to be great at high school fishing, but I know the gist of how everything works, and I believe I was pretty decent at it to become an All-American. But thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, and have a wonderful day.